welcome back to My Students Rock. Currently there are a fair few competitions going on or have just finished where numerous students of mine participated, and I actually have received a fair number of really awesome games. In fact, I wanted to go total bonkers and publish one of my students' full competition performance as a My Students Rock, because not only did he win a competition, which I think was his second over the board competition in his life, and he did win it, but all 5 games were rather impressive. So I was thinking about doing an extra edition of My Students Rock, but maybe I will refrain from that because it would be a little bit unfair with the rest of the crew. And actually, whilst I'm still pondering about what to do with that, I'm going to present another one for you that is going to be another Ripper student playing black, and he's playing the dragon. Now we need to have a bit of a chat about this game so that we fully understand the magnitude of how great this game really is, because what happened was that previously in the tournament, said student lost the game already in the dragon and became extremely disheartened by it and wanted to quit the dragon, potentially chess altogether. Nah, I'm kidding. But yeah, so it was a very bad mindset, very negative about the dragon and all that. And so a couple of rounds later, he again got black against an e4 player, and we decided that the best solution is always to fight fire with fire. And so we went back to good old dragon, and somewhat following my recommendation, we deviated here from the theoretical d5 and risking some lines where black is actually not doing splendidly well, in the hope that we can generate some cool counterplay in this setup. For example, I think hereabouts there is a very common trick after king b1 where we get to take the whole entire house like this. I think a lot of people lost games like white with white like this. So that was one of the tricks that was on the cards here in this line. I very highly recommend you to check it out if you are a dragon player with either color. This is so easy to walk into, and it's a whole rook that is getting sacked. And in fact, black is warmly embracing, actually I think it's rook f3 first. Black is warmly embracing the concept of an endgame, despite of being a full rook down, because of the incredible number of pawns that we are netting, not to mention the fact that this check is going to hurt an awful lot of dudes. So bishop d2 is almost forced, and yeah, if you look at just bishop takes h5, this is how many pawns we got for the rook. Amazing stuff. Anyway, in the game, white correctly played here knight b3, sending our queen back to c7, and then defended the pawn on f3 with bishop e2. And this is where the real deal begins. We played b5, and now white really has to play very accurately. King b1 is best here, and after b4 the knight comes to d5, and white has a comfortable edge. This capture is already a very big inaccuracy, because now black has got quite substantial counterplay along the f-file. For example, in the exact same line, now you just take this pawn and the game is over. So he couldn't do that, so he went g5. Now, I hardly ever believe in g5 in the dragon for white unless it's followed by an instant knight d5 win, because it basically shuts down all bishop h6 intentions. And you will find that if you want to mate the black king in the dragon with a black bishop there, it's essentially impossible. But ta-da, here comes the trick. He doesn't even get to play knight d5 because my student here actually dropped the first bomb on the board and played b4. Love this stuff, guys. A lot of amateur players could go into amateur's mind for this reason too, by the way. As soon as they have a piece attack, they move it. So they don't seem to have this instinct well developed that nah, you can just counter punch, and that's totally hey-okay. Opponent took, we took. They had to actually take this back. Queen d5 is a game losing blunder. Somewhere hereabouts I found a really cool line. Work with me. No, not yet. Okay, never mind. So, yeah, potentially take back, and then rook takes f6, and black stands better on both wings. So, white king is very weak here, and this is incoming, whereas on the king side, f3 is a weak pawn, and that's a problem too. So, but that was a lesser evil. He played queen d5 check, strongly met by e6, actually only legal move. The queen retreated. We took b2, very good move. Queen takes and rook takes. Very good move. Another amateur's mind moment here that a lot of people would be like, oh, instantly taking back on f6 because that opens up the threat. Except that that is basically kindergarten chess, because then bishop d4 shuts down said threat. Whereas rook takes f6 sort of still floats lots of dirty IDs on the diagonal, but at the same time it also pressures f3, and I think this is where my funky line is. Check this out. So f4 was played, which wasn't anything to write home about. If we try bishop d4 instead again in the exact same fashion, we have this beautiful sack. Knight takes f3, bishop takes f6, bishop takes f6, and now the queen can't take because there is mate on c2, and for this reason queen b1 seems best. But then the bishop comes from here, choke, another choke, and after king a3, rook c5, and the stock standard rook a5 mate is essentially inevitable. Beautiful stuff, absolutely beautiful. So instead we went f4, rook took, bishop played d4, and this is where, oh, actually this is third amateur's mind moment. After bishop takes f4, everyone sees knight d3 check, right? And that's actually a really simple way to totally botch a beautifully won game, because after knight d3, bishop takes b2, king takes b2. In fact, materially speaking, white is ahead. The reason why black is still considered to be better is because this a5 a4 business is still quite painful, but white's position is as good as it has never been since this attack started. So what then? Well, this was a work of a genius, but the point is that after bishop takes f4, and hats off to my student for doing this, instead of knight d3 check, knight c4 is the correct way to win the queen, because now we only lose one minor piece for it. So if queen takes, we take back and we keep the knight, or better still, if the queen goes back to b1, then actually not only do we trap the queen on b1, absolutely beautiful, but knight a3 is actually a mate threat on c2. How cool is that? So if they play bishop d6, trying to counterpunch, then no, that's mate. That's mate, guys. Thank you very much. Which is a very gentle and nice reminder that at any given point, your number one target is the king. Knight d3 check misses that target and retargets or refocuses the target on the queen, which is a very poor choice. Anyhow, rook didn't get taken on f4. Bishop d4 was played, and now I would have really liked to see the extremely cheeky rook f2 move here, which essentially would have renewed the same idea. After bishop f2, knight c4, we are in the exact same line, and otherwise the bishop and the c2 pawn find it very difficult to stay in the game and not die miserably. And like, I can just leave this rook hanging here and go a5, a4. That's how winning black is. Would have been a bit of a tongue-in-cheek move, but anyway, bishop c6 was played. The idea is to take e4 and kill on c2. Black's attack is rolling forward beautifully. Queen c3, rook f3, awesome. All moves are just very powerful punches. Really good, consistent attacking chess. Bishop a4, now hurting from this side. The b3 knight is hanging, or rather the pawn wheel after, because of the pin, and various sacrifices would come into play if the king moved. Bishop drop back, bishop takes, pawn takes, rook takes, and now we are really gearing up for the eventual final finish off. Although even here I would like to show you a very sneaky motif. Here the game continuation was queen takes c2, and I can't possibly blame a player for doing that, but queen a5 check. Not only would I won the queen, but actually would have led to mate. So after c3, knight f3 takes, and queen takes g5, a beautiful motif highlighting the fact that the queen was unguarded. But note that this is not to win a queen. This leads to false mate. So after king e2, we just got rook b2, and actually I don't even need to take this, just queen g3, and mate is going to be inevitable. Beautiful stuff. So all it took is to recognize the fact that the queen was unguarded here, and we had the check on the same rank, and that's just enough for a beautiful tactical finish off. But speaking of beautiful tactical finishes, this is nothing to sneeze at either. Check this out. c2, mate threat on e2, rook d2 is played, and we're beautifully threading the needle, and there we go. An awesome checkmate, a very worthy finish of a remarkably well played dragon attack. Hopefully this game has restored my student's faith in his beloved dragon and in the attacking potential that comes with this opening, and I do hope that you guys enjoyed this massacre too. I really enjoyed the rook f4 motif. I really enjoyed this knight c4, knight a3, and the mate in 2, mate on c2 motif, and also in the very end the finish was just stunning with this awesome double pin. Like knight d3 can't be taken because of the pin here, and rook can't take because of the pin on e2, and so ta-da! Now that is the way to bounce back into your beloved opening. So I'm going to sign out whilst leaving this beautiful picture on. That was it from me for today, guys, and I'll be back with more soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.